what is your opinion on ad-libs in a song?
Ad-libs is fire. I think, I use ad-libs, sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, but I think ad-libs add a different texture, especially if you could find yourself a signature ad-lib. I think, it plays an important role in music just as much as a chorus does, just as much as layering your vocals, just as much as little things like, oh, let's add let's say I say something about pouring up in a bottle and you hear the sound effect. Those things, it makes it cinematic. So I think ad-libs are important.
Now, for you personally, how do you decide whether a song deserves ad-libs from you or not?
If my vocals cut through a lot, I don't feel like I need ad-libs to get off what I need to say. But if it's a record where I feel like ad-libs are going to add more texture and just make the song more alive, then I'll add it.
So if there was a circle chart of 100%, what percentage would you say are songs of yours with ad-libs versus no ad-libs?
50-50. 50-50. I'm a very versatile artist, so I can play both rims.
And speaking of signature ad-libs, do you have one by any chance?
Not yet. Not yet.
Now, when it comes to collaborating with other recording artists, have you ever added your ad-libs to another artist's verse on that same song?
Trying to think. Nothing that ever came out, but I feel like one time we was in the studio, me and Rapsody, I feel like we did something, and I think I just added some ad-libs or something like that, but nothing too crazy.
On something of that nature that you just described, is that talked about, or is that just voluntarily done? Like, does the other artist ask you to do that, or you just do it?
I mean, if we in the vibe, you know what I'm saying, I feel like it's very understandable. Like, you can catch it. But sometimes somebody might be like, hey, I want you to add stacks on here. And I'll be like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? So, but I can't say anything that's came out yet that has my ad-libs on it that I'm not necessarily a part of. And that's not my verse. But, sometimes it happens naturally. Sometimes somebody might be like, hey, put me on something. So, yeah.
And what are your thoughts on songs with just a featured artist's ad-libs, but no hook or verse from them?
I think it's dope. I think if you're trying to paint a picture and that person's voice, it goes with that, and they might not even have to do a hook or a verse like you said, but if their ad-libs go crazy, then I think that's perfect, because I think I was listening to Solange album the other day, and I think Tyler, the Creator, had ad-libs on there, and he didn't even have a verse, but I think, his ad-libs were incredible because they added a texture to the record that was needed.
And just for transparency, do you know either of these two personally?
No. Very talented artist, though.
Now, have you ever wanted another artist's ad-libs for a song yourself, but no hook or verse from them?
Swizz. I had, when I first signed to Ninth and I put out my first project, Swizz really, was embracing me and telling me how talented I am. And, we have a couple songs together, but there was one record I was trying to get him for on my EP, Boy Meets World, called Cotdamn. So if you go back and listen to it, I did the ad-libs, but I was doing a reference for Swizz. You know what I'm saying? Because he be saying the "Cotdamn it." So, we just, timing, he was doing other things, so he didn't get a chance to do it. But that's who I wanted to do ad-libs on there.
And sounds like you're open to that scenario in the future.
Yeah.
And what about vice versa? Would you be open to the scenario of somebody just wanting your ad-libs on a song, but no hook or verse from you, perhaps?
100%, man. And whatever makes the music good, man. I want to write for other people, produce, all of that. If I got to add some stacks and some background, shoot, all of the lights had Fergie and all these other people doing backgrounds. Even people don't even know Drake was on all of the lights by Kanye. But, it builds the texture around the song. So any way I can chip in and help, I would love to.
Anything else you want to mention about ad-libs or question you weren't asked, people want to know about them?
Nah, ad-libs are ad-libs.